welcome back to my channel. I'm Smoke Sammy, and today I have some Am I the Devil posts for you. Stop trying to decode women, what I learned after 10 plus years. Decode? This happened again last week and got me thinking about how my approach has changed over the years. Met this woman at a coffee shop downtown, great conversation, lots of laughing. She even gave me her number without me asking. It seemed like a clear green light. I texted her that evening with something casual about our conversation, then radio silence for 3 days. Eventually got a brief, sorry, been swamped with work response. 5 years ago, this would have sent me into analysis mode for hours. What did I say wrong? Was my timing off? Should I have waited longer to text? I used to approach dating like it was a puzzle to solve. Spent way too much time reading pickup theory, analyzing every interaction, looking for the perfect approach that would work consistently. After thousands of conversations and interactions over the past decade, I've learned something counterintuitive. The inconsistency isn't a bug, it's a feature. Here's what I mean. I started noticing clear patterns once I had enough real-world experiences. Women respond based on their current emotional state as much as anything you do. If she's having a great day, almost anything lands well. If she's stressed about deadlines or dealing with family drama, even your best material falls flat. The same woman who doesn't respond to a thoughtful message one day might engage enthusiastically with a random comment another day. Context matters more than content most of the time. Yeah? Words carry less weight than the energy behind the conversation. There's something intangible that happens when two people click. The actual topics become almost irrelevant. Sometimes you feel this electric tension where even mundane small talk feels charged. Other times, perfect conditions and great conversations still don't lead anywhere. I still don't get it right every time, but the difference now is that I don't lose sleep over it. Dating makes more sense when you stop expecting logical consistency from something that's fundamentally emotional and situational. The breakthrough for me wasn't finding better techniques or understanding women better. It was accepting that success in dating is more about volume and genuine connection than perfect execution. Oh my lord. Oh man, took you so long to realize that women are just human beings too? Or is this how guys interact? Like when you make friends with another dude as a dude, is it like an execution? Like you have to perfect the dialogue and the circumstances every time? Like there's a method to it? Or do you just like vibe, or you just like don't vibe? Because I feel like that's how friendships are formed too. You just vibe with people or you don't. If you're stuck in the analysis paralysis phase right now, I get it. That frustration when you think you're doing everything right but results feel random. My advice, stop trying to crack the code and start collecting more real-life experience. The patterns become visible after hundreds of interactions, not dozens. And the confidence that comes from the experience changes how you show up in ways that matter more than any specific thing you say. I feel like that right there is the main issue. Why are you only approaching girls with a method to get with them, instead of just being a human being and talking to another human being and trying to connect with them that way on a human level? Why is it, oh, this thing, I need to date this thing, and in order to date this thing, I need to perfectly execute this interaction, or else the thing's not gonna want to date me. I love this comment. For some extra fun, replace woman with human here, and it sounds like an alien sent to Earth to study us wrote this in their first month. That's exactly what this sounds like. This comment, I love this comment. You're funny. And somebody actually did write it out. I'm not gonna read it because it's the same thing. Just replace the word woman with human. But yeah, women are also humans, guys. I like this comment too. This is so funny. He claims nowadays, sorry, I've been swamped with work, didn't send him into analysis mode. And yet here he is in analysis mode. Did it ever occur to him that perhaps she was just swamped with work? My 33 wife, 32, handled a disagreement immaturely. How do I get her to respect my feelings? We are both at fault. See, I'm a jokester and I do some pranks. A couple times I did a prank where I pretended to cheat on her. Now she told me she didn't like those pranks, but I did it one more time and I shouldn't have. Well, you're calling your wife immature? Well, my wife got back at me by doing a cheating prank. It hurt my feelings. I now see what she means by cheating pranks aren't fun, but I'm hurt, and she knew how hurtful they could be, yet did it. She said, obviously, I'm the type that needs to learn through experience, but that's not true. I would never intentionally hurt my wife. When I did the pranks, I didn't realize how big of a deal they were, but she knew and still did it. I love my wife and our marriage is fantastic and I'm hoping to start trying for a baby, but this hurt my feelings a lot. Oh, I hurt your feelings? I hurt your feelings a lot? I don't even know what to say here, bro. What do you mean? You can't learn through experience, but your wife telling you that it hurts her when you do that wasn't getting the message through to your head. And you only understood how hurtful it was after your wife did it to you. Oh, no. I would ask if you were 12, but you're 33 according to your title. So I hope it's fake because it sounds like it was written by somebody who's a teenager still. But yeah, please don't have kids. Am I the devil for confronting my daughter about her disturbing diary in public? Did you read her diary? And you waited till you were outside to talk about it? Hi Reddit, this happened a while ago, but I still think about it often. I made a throwaway for this. My daughter was 13 then. She was quiet and private, kept to herself. We didn't think anything serious was going on. She did well in school, acted normal around us, nothing obvious to worry about. Well, maybe one thing. I once found a drawer full of diet pills and laxatives. I asked her. She said it was nothing. I figured if it were serious, she'd talk to me or show a sign. She didn't, so I let it go. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I thought it was just a phase. Wait, you found 2 very concerning things in your daughter's drawer and you thought it was just a phase? One day, while she was on a school trip, I was looking for a letter. I went through her drawers and found a notebook. Something sharp fell out. I opened it. It was her diary. I know I shouldn't have read it, but I did. What I saw was shocking. She was hurting, hated herself, was angry. She wrote about how much she was struggling, about us and her life. It was hard to read. Her little sister, 11 then, read it too. Oh my, you showed her sister? Why did you let the sister read it? You shouldn't have been reading it yourself, but you let the sister read it? The younger sister? I told my husband we didn't know what to do. It felt bigger than us, so we decided to talk to her. We thought doing it in public might keep things calm. A restaurant seemed safe. That's so manipulative and gross. You putting her in a public place where she can't react. So we went out to dinner, both girls. At first she was relaxed. When I put the diary on the table, she froze. Then she cried. I told her we had read it, that we found a therapist. We just wanted to help. The waitress came in the middle of it and asked for our order. She kept her head down and said the cheesy noodles. It was hard to watch, but I thought we should carry on. Keep things steady. After that, we moved the conversation back to her school trip. Tried to make her feel like things weren't falling apart. I thought it was the right way to handle it. We never talked about it again, except once when she was meant to visit a friend out of state. The trip had been planned for months, but we told her she couldn't go. We wanted to keep a closer eye on her. She cried and told me that this friend was the only thing keeping her grounded. I panicked. I said if she kept crying like that, I'd have her admitted to a mental hospital? What? Then I left the room. After that, nothing. She saw a therapist for 6 months. She said she was fine and wanted to stop. We had a final session, that was it. I told her I wouldn't tell anyone, but I told my brother. He asked her about the scars and she shut down. Maybe I shouldn't have told him. No, especially if you told her you weren't going to tell anyone. How can she trust you, ever? But I needed someone to hear me. I started seeing a psychiatrist too. I told people it was for work stress, but it was because I felt I'd failed as a mother. You kind of have. I told the family I was exhausted, that I was fragile. Maybe I needed someone to notice me too. Sometimes I fear she thinks I stole her sickness since no one really knew what was going on. They just saw me struggling. So can you tell me if I'm the devil? Ma'am, I don't know what to say about this. Everything was just wrong. Why'd you take the trip away from her? There was no reason to do that, especially if that friend was helping her more than anything else was helping her. And then you told her that you were going to put her in a mental hospital for crying over this trip that you took away from her? This is ridiculous. There are so many better ways to handle this and handle your child. And you did fail as a parent. At least according to the story you have. Am I the devil for inviting my work wife to my daughter's birthday so she could finally meet my actual wife? Work wives is a weird thing to have. And work husbands. Just why? So I, 33, have been married to my wife, 31, for 5 years, together for 8. We have 1 kid. Our daughter just turned 2. I work as an assistant store manager at Walmart, and my wife stays home with our kid. Things are generally good between us. We're not perfect, but I'd say we have a strong relationship and communicate fairly well most of the time. At work, I've gotten close with a coworker. Let's call her H, 33. She's not just someone I passively work with. We have similar interests, especially food and travel, and we've bonded over that. We'll text now and then, sometimes about work, sometimes sharing food recs or cool travel spots. Nothing flirty, nothing secretive. If we're both working a closing shift, I'll give her a ride home, safer than the late night bus, and it's honestly on my way. My wife knows about the rides and that we talk occasionally. Okay, so this sounds just like regular friendship. Why does it have to be a work-wife situation? That said, my wife's never met H. She's heard the name but didn't really have a full picture. For my daughter's second birthday, I invited a few people from work, including H. Part of it was just that I thought it would be nice. She's seen pics of my daughter and asked about her. She's a decent person, but I'll admit a small part of me also thought maybe it'd be good for my wife to meet her and put a face to the name. This makes me think that OP has some stronger feelings for H than he's letting on. H came, brought a gift, and was totally respectful. She didn't monopolize my time or act overly familiar or anything. She chatted with a few people, including my wife, but I wouldn't say they clicked. After the party, though, my wife was clearly off. I asked what was wrong, and she eventually admitted she felt blindsided and uncomfortable. She said she didn't like the idea that this woman she'd never met, but who clearly has a presence in my daily life, was now suddenly at our kid's birthday party without a heads up. Oh, why didn't you tell her? I tried to explain I didn't mean to be sneaky. I honestly thought it was more transparent and respectful to include H and to keep her out of that part of my life. I wasn't trying to stir anything up or send any weird messages, but now my wife is wondering if there's more going on between me and H than I let on, even though there really isn't. I can see how maybe I should have talked to my wife first before inviting H, but at the same time, it didn't feel like that big of a deal in the moment. H is just a friend from work. It's not like I invited her to a family vacation or something. So, am I the devil for inviting my work wife to my daughter's birthday party without checking with my real wife first? Yeah, I think there's definitely something that OP is leaving out, because based on just this alone, there's no problem here, especially if he did invite other people from work, and she was just one of those people that he invited from work. Like, there shouldn't be a problem. But the wife's reaction makes me feel like there is something else that's going on. She even says, I think there's more going on than you let on. And I think that might be true. He has to be like just downplaying how close they are, like a lot. Because this on its own, like something's just not adding up here. Celebrities shouldn't openly date or make it known they're in a relationship. Why not? There's a few reasons for this one. One, some fans feel they are entitled to a celebrity to not date. In a way, they're correct. They're entitled to a choice between if they support a celebrity in a relationship and if they don't. I've seen many Korean/Japanese idols or celebs lose popularity once they've been caught in a relationship. That's not a bad thing. I think it is. You don't own celebrities. They're just people at the end of the day doing their jobs. Being in a relationship automatically holds some growth. No? I mean, I guess it depends on the relationship, but relationships should actually help you grow as a person in general. As you're spending time will be away from your fan/talent with that other person you're dating. To be famous, sacrifices should be made. What sort of luxury are you permitted if you want to be adored by millions and be in the top percentile? Being in a relationship is a luxury, and it shouldn't be made public if you want to retain fans. The same way people lose popularity once they pick a political side, they should lose it when their current dating history is revealed. No. Honestly, I hope anybody that this person is a fan of gets in a relationship, because some fan behavior is insane, and this is one of those examples. They don't owe you anything, buddy. You should like them as a person. You don't have a chance with them anyway. Today I messed up by accidentally revealing my coworker's crush in front of the whole office. Oh, man. This literally just happened an hour ago, and I'm still cringing so hard I want to disappear. I work at this small accounting firm, and there's maybe 15 of us total. We're all pretty close and joke around a lot. So there's this guy, Kevin, late 20s maybe, who sits near me, and he's been acting weird lately. Like, he keeps asking me about my desk neighbor, Amy, what she likes for lunch, if she's dating anyone, stupid stuff like that. It was pretty obvious he had a thing for her, but Amy seemed totally oblivious. Today, we're all in the break room for someone's birthday cake, and Kevin's being his usual awkward self around Amy. She's talking about how she's thinking of dyeing her hair, and Kevin just goes, "You look good with any hair color," which was sweet, but also cringe. I thought I was being helpful by nudging him a little. So without really thinking, I said, "Kevin, you should just ask her out already. We all know you have a massive crush on her." How is that an accident? That seemed very intentional to me. I meant it like as a friendly push, but the entire room went silent. Amy's face turned bright red and Kevin looked like he wanted to crawl under a table. Amy mumbled something about needing to get back to work and basically ran out of the room. Kevin followed her and I could hear them having this awkward conversation in the hallway. I think she was trying to let him down easy, but I couldn't hear everything. Now I feel like absolute shit because I basically forced this whole situation when maybe Kevin wasn't ready, or maybe Amy suspected but didn't want to deal with it. The office vibe has been weird all afternoon and I keep catching people looking at me like I'm some kind of drama starter. Yeah, you're pot stirrer. Kevin came back to his desk and hasn't said a word to me. Amy's been avoiding eye contact. I texted Kevin saying I was sorry and that I thought I was helping, but he just said, it's fine, which clearly means it's not fine. I honestly thought I was being a good wingman, but now I'm wondering if I just made everything worse for everyone. Like, maybe some things are just better left unsaid, but also, isn't it better to just be direct about this stuff instead of dancing around it for months? Not necessarily, especially in a workplace setting. This person sounds pretty young and has put people in an awkward situation. Like, if Kevin and Amy aren't naturally, like, talking and getting to know each other, forcing it is just gonna make it uncomfortable for everyone, and everyone in the office too, because now they're gonna feel this tension, and it's all your fault, buddy. Alright, well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this content or you like me, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!